Ooh, hi, that was loud. Oh, okay. Good morning, and thanks for being here, everyone. Happy Wednesday. All right. So we can begin. We can take our thumbs into our fingers, let them rest on our thighs, and if you prefer to have your hands and fingers resting in a different way, that's fine. We can bring our attention to the three treasures so we can arrive here together. And moving through the three treasures one at a time, beginning with the body, the sensations of our alignment, and just noticing the weight of the body, noticing any areas of tension or ease, or tension and ease. It's rare that we only have one in our bodies at any given time. Maybe noticing the sensation of your clothes against your skin, the sensation of the earth beneath you. And just feeling the support of the ground, the support of your bones, the support of your alignment. Just allowing yourself to rest into that support, to be supported. And expanding awareness to include the breath and the movement of the breath into and through the body, and maybe continuing on with that awareness of support, just inhaling, and on the exhale, just allowing yourself to relax and release into the support of the earth as it holds you, the support of your body, the support of the breath even, the movement of the breath, the presence of the breath. And again, expanding awareness to include the mind and the focus of the mind. And the invitation during these three treasures, or this practice, this awareness of the three treasures, is to guide the focus of the mind to the breath and the body. And allow the focus of the mind to be aware of the support. The support of the ground beneath you, the support of your body, your bones, your alignment. The support offered by the breath and and the movement of the breath. And just for these few moments, resting in that support, just allowing rest. And in that rest, there is deep resource. In the breath, there is the resource that allows another breath. In the focus of the mind, there is resource that allows the mind to focus. In the alignment of the body, there is resource that allows for the alignment of the body. Just continually returning with each breath, returning the focus of the mind to the sensations in the body, the sensations of the breath, the sensations of the earth, and the boundless sky. And when you're ready, we can bring our hands together and we'll gently rub our hands together, generate some warmth in our hands, maintaining an awareness of these three treasures. And let's take a deep breath in, shake it out, rubbing the palms together again. And we can do an abbreviated self-massage this morning. So we can bring our hands to our faces, and you can massage up and out if you'd like, or out and in, up and down, however feels good. And there may be more than one thing that feels good, and that's fine. It may be hard to find the thing that feels good, and that's fine too. Just keep trying things. And when you're ready, from here, the hands, the fingers can just run over the scalp from front to back or back and forth or any other way that you'd like to try. Taking the time to feel the whole surface area of the scalp, to find the areas that feel good when they're rubbed, maybe feel a little tender when they're rubbed. And As you're ready, the hands can slide down the back of the neck, taking your time as you drag the hands around the base of the neck. And then a nice deep breath in. Shake it out. Rubbing the palms together, breathing. And then let's just dive right in to gently do our gorilla patting. Just softly patting the upper chest and moving down along the edge of the sternum where the ribs come into the breastbone. Taking your time. There are spots that may be very tender as you're doing this. You can do a soft fist. You can make beaks with your fingertips. If you want to get a little more point specific in those spaces in between the ribs, be gentle. If you find a spot that's tender, you don't have to avoid it, but you might want to just tap softer, more gently. Spend some time, continue to breathe. Working your way down to the bottom of the sternum, and if you'd like, you can work your way back up again. Remember to breathe. Feel free to make sounds as needed, if needed. Breathing all the way through from the front of your chest, all the way through to the back, in between the shoulder blades. And as you feel ready, working your way down onto your lower rib cage, maybe patting with your hands, maybe transitioning from patting to rubbing, massaging the lower ribs, the sides of the lower rib cage. Still breathing, noticing sensations. Perhaps your hands start to move onto your abdomen, onto your belly, maybe one hand over the chest and one hand over the belly. And eventually, whichever hand is on top can switch places with the hand that's below. If you'd like to bring both hands over the abdomen and just making circles over the abdomen, maybe small circles within a bigger circle. I find it helpful to spend some time on the bottom of my rib cage and almost working underneath the bottom of the rib cage into the diaphragm and the area of the liver and the stomach and the pancreas and a whole lot that goes on in that area. A lot of tension can be held in the diaphragm. It can be helpful to just feel it, to notice what's there, and not have to do anything about it other than just be aware of it and let it be felt. And as you're ready, your hands can move around your waist to your lower back, the area of the kidneys and the lumbar spine. And as you're ready, you can draw your hands out, shake them out. Rubbing the palms together, breathing. And then a quick arm massage. So we'll begin by tapping our fingertips and then slide the hand up the outside and down the inside. And again, just feeling what this feels like. Letting your arm be felt. And then up one more time and down. Changing sides, tapping the fingertips up the outside, down the inside. breathing, aligning, focusing, resting, being supported. Because we are being supported. I mean, we're all of us, wherever we are, we're on the earth. I don't think anyone is beaming in from the space station. So just feeling the support that is there already. Remembering that. And then up one more time and down. Deep breath in and out. Rub the palms together. We can bring our feet out in front of us. And you can use your hands to massage the bottom of your feet, or if your feet aren't accessible to you, you can massage your knees or your thighs. And not only the bottom of the foot, but the top of the foot and the sides of the feet. And in your own way, you can follow the funnel down on the bottom of the feet or on the backside of the knee, or the sides or the top of the knee, and just applying pressure into the deepest hollow that you find. And then from here, we can bring our hands up the inside of our legs and around the hips and down the outside. Feeling what the legs feel like. What does it feel like to have the legs felt? And we can come up one more time and around and down and out. Deep breath in. Shake it out. Rubbing the palms together one more time for now. And then we can tuck our thumbs back into our fingers, let the hands rest back on the thighs, or again, if you prefer a different hand position, feel free. And just attune to your body and the alignment of your body. Feeling the breath as it moves into and through your body. Allowing the body and the breath to be the focus of the mind. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes or shift your posture. All right. Any questions about anything? Okay. So coming up, what's today? Today's the 19th. So in another 2-3 days, we will begin the second phase of winter. And the phase that we'll be moving into, it's called minor snow, which is in the forecast. So, hopefully we'll we'll get some minor snow. And it continues on with this theme of winter that we talked about, I guess, was it last week or 2 weeks ago with the start of winter, where winter is the time when there's less warmth outside. There's less of everything. It's a little bit harder to find things outside of ourselves. And with minor snow, the weather gets colder, maybe snow is falling, maybe cold wind is blowing in your face, and it's natural to want to kind of tighten up against that. And so, just being aware of that, and that kind of tightening up is how we actually generate some heat inside of ourselves. Like, that's the reason why we tremble when we're cold, right? Because we're generating heat by doing that with our muscles. And so this idea of finding the warmth, the light, the yang energy within ourselves when it's less available outside of ourselves. So this is just this idea of going deeper into that. That we're not only starting winter and it's starting to happen, it's like now we have snow falling, cold air, so it's becoming a little bit more evident. And so again, yes, there is this inward movement that's naturally happening. There's more yin, longer nights, shorter days, colder weather, all of that is going on. And so what happens when we go inward and inward and inward is that then that creates the light. It's like the fusion or fission or whichever word it is, that causes that. That's the catalyst. And so, rather than avoiding it, we can embrace it and we can lean into it and we can actually cause it to become the generator. So that's the theme of minor snow. All right. Welcome back. All right, I'm glad that you all weren't gone too long. So, the wire connection here in the room has not been working, so we're wireless. So hopefully that doesn't happen many more times. If it does, it'll just be a short respite, and we can all breathe. All right, so I'm going to move this back, and we can get to our practice. What I'd like to do for today is to do some easy Qigong, in particular Buzheng Qigong for a little bit as a warm-up, and then we can move into our easy Tai Chi practice and review some of the movements. One movement in particular I want to spend some time in so we can really kind of get it a little more dialed in, and we can just do that. All right. Okay. So, we're all standing in here. Those on Zoom, if you'd like to stand, you can stand. If you'd prefer to be seated, you can remain seated. And let's just find a comfortable standing posture. Let's see. Back a little bit further. Okay. So let's just take a few moments to find ourselves in a new shape. So, as we typically do, we can lift our toes off the ground, unlock the knees, find the hard parts of the bottom of the feet, and just taking a moment to feel what that's like. Like, where is the weight in our feet? In the front, in the back, leaning to one side or the other, just allowing all of that to just be noticed and be felt. And whenever you feel the need, I think it's a great thing to lift the toes up off the ground, soften the knees a little deeper than you think you might need to, just to really make that contact. Spreading the floor apart with your feet so you can root into the outer edges of the feet and you can find a little more stability, making sure the knees are moving away from each other rather than collapsing towards each other. Like, continually doing that whenever it occurs to you is a good thing. So settling into the 3 points of contact on the bottom of the feet, unlocking the knees, checking in with the thighs, with the pelvis, the hips. If you want to do some pelvic rotations in one direction and the other, you can. You can tilt forward and backwards just to check in with what's going on with the hips, with the pelvis, so that then we can rise up through the lower back and into the rib cage, and maybe take a couple deep breaths to really fill 360 degrees of the rib cage. The fronts, the sides, and the back, especially the lower back side of the rib cage. So important to get breath into this area, to get some movement, some lift and spreading of the lower back ribs. So good for the diaphragm, the psoas, the lumbar spine, the kidneys and the adrenals, the liver, the stomach. Feeling the space behind the heart, in between the shoulder blades. Feeling the collarbones and the shoulder joints themselves. If you'd like to put them up and back a couple times, you can, even kind of pulling the shoulders forward and spreading them back, just to really get oriented with how your collarbones are, feeling them. And then continuing on up through the back of the neck to the back of the skull, lifting it up and slightly back so that there's a slight tuck in the chin. There's length in the back of the neck that extends down in between the shoulder blades, maybe all the way down to the sacrum, all the way down to the heels. And just feeling this. And if it's helpful, you can lift through the back of your skull and lift your toes off the ground and feel that activation of the whole skeleton. That connection, rootedness to the earth, that lifting up into the sky, that spreading wide out into the biofield. And then beginning very, very easy, Buzhong Qigong. Let's inhale and turn our palms forward. And exhale, turn the palms backwards, relaxing. Inhale, palms forward. Shift your weight into the front of your feet. And then exhale, palms turn backwards. Let your weight shift into your heels. So just like this. It's not a very big movement, very subtle from the outside, but from the inside, there may be a lot of sensation going on. So again, inhale, palms forward. Maybe the arms come forward slightly, the weight comes into the balls of the feet, and then we exhale, palms backwards, hands move back slightly, weight shifts into the heels, and just like this. Inhaling at your own pace, exhaling, relaxing. We can let the arms float up a little more on the inhale. And then exhaling, the hands can move past the midline a little bit further. Weight in the heels, toes can lift, and then inhaling, palms forward. Weight into the balls of the feet, toes rooting into the ground, and we exhale. Soft knees, toes lift, weight in the heels, hips and hands shifting backwards, in and out. Taking our time. Holding for a beat or two at the bottom of the exhale, and then inhaling, and holding for a beat or two at the top of the inhalation. Just allowing the movement to be a continuous flow. the next inhale, we'll inhale our arms up. On the exhale, let's step the mirror foot in. And then inhale that same foot back out. Exhale, bring the window foot in. So just moving like this. We inhale and step out. Exhale, step in. So it's similar to the opening and the closing that we do in our easy Tai Chi, but it's a little bit faster even. So inhale, open. Exhale, close. You can bend your knees as you open out for a little more stability if you'd like. You can take a short, small step out, or you can take a big, wide step out. Moving with the breath. Inhaling as we open. Exhaling as we close. Take your time. We'll open one more time and then keep the feet where they are as we exhale back to the basic flowing motion. Let's inhale the hands up high. Exhale out to the sides. Let's do that again. Inhale up, high, stretch, and then exhale out to the sides. One more time. This time, as you inhale, let the palms face your body. Palms then turn up, look up, and then exhale out to the sides. Let's continue on like this. So palms face the body as you inhale, palms up, face up. Exhale out to the sides. Again. This time, as you exhale, you can make fists with your hands. Bring your fists together and squeeze. Inhale, rolling up, looking up. Exhale, arms out to the sides, fists with the hands, chin towards the chest, squeezing. You can make fists with your feet, and then inhale. Filling yourself up, stretching out, and then exhale, bring yourself out. Moving with your breath, take your time. Your pace may be different than my pace, and that's okay. Nice and easy, no need to overextend in any direction. Inhaling. Exhaling. Let's do 3 more here. Slowing way down. Last one. You can inhale and roll yourself up. And then relax. Take a breath or two. And check back in. Maybe lift your toes back off the ground. Find your 3 points of contact. Spread the feet apart. Lift up and back through the skull. On your next inhalation, let's get long and tall. And on the exhale, just lean over towards the side, towards the mirrors. Put a micro bend in the knee that you're bending towards. And then press through that leg to bring yourself back up to straight. And then exhale over to the other side, micro bend in that knee. You can bring the opposite hand to the hip if you'd like, and then press down through your foot, through your leg. And then exhaling over towards the mirrors. Inhaling up through center. And exhale. Nice and easy. And just going as far as feels comfortable. We're not looking for any sharp, pointy edges or pointy sensations. Using the breath to get long and tall, and then slowly exhaling. Just helping to fluff up the intervertebral discs. On the next inhale, if you'd like, the arms can come out to a T. And then we exhale, that lower hand can brace on the thigh as the upper hand comes up and maybe over. Still putting a bend in the knee that we're bending towards, and then we inhale, pressing through the leg to come up to stand. So the legs really help us to stand up straight and tall. Lifting with the legs, not the back. Inhaling, exhaling. In and out. And still just going as far as is comfortable. Maybe it feels better to just keep the arms straight up overhead. That's fine. Maybe it feels good to not go over so far, and that's okay. Find what works for you and do that. Sometimes it feels good to take a wider stance and to bend deeper into the knee. Lots of options. Let's exhale over to one side and stay here for a breath. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale up. And then exhale to the other side, and we can remain as we take an inhale and exhale and inhale up. And back to moving with the breath. One more time over towards the windows. Inhale back up to a T. And then exhale the hands down. Inhale the hands up to your throat. Hold at the top of the inhale, turn the palms up, and then exhale all the way out till your arms are shoulder level. And now inhale all the way up to the throat, palms up, exhale. So this stretches our breath in Maybe holding at the top of the inhale, and then out. Maybe holding. Welcome back. So we're doing this in and out. Inhaling. Exhaling. Stretch your breath in. Palms up, out. 2 more like this. In. Out. In. And out. From here, we'll inhale the hands back to the throat. Palms down and exhale. Just stand and relax. So 4 very simple movements. But just notice how you feel after doing that. Maybe a little stretched, a little toned, a little oxygenated, a little relaxed and resourced. And that was, maybe 10, 15 minutes of Qigong. Easy, accessible, beneficial, medicine, free. So if you'd like, you can just kind of shake it out a little bit, relax. And then we can continue our practice of Taiqigong. And what I would like to do is there's one movement that I just want to kind of work on for a little bit. It's the second movement of our form. It's called brush knee, send chi. And, just as a reminder, so we harmonize heaven and earth. We find our ball. We turn our ball over. We drop the ball. And then brush the knee with the lower hand and send chi with the upper hand. We rock back and pick up our ball, weight shift, drop the ball. So this is the movement, and it's the one that I just, I notice in myself and for the rest of us here, it can be a little tricky because there's a lot going on with it. And so just to work with it for a little bit. And so, I think the reminder, which is always good to remember, is that the movement is coming from the center. So whatever our arms are doing, it's this movement, this rotation of our central axis. That's what is causing everything else to move. And so if my arms are out in front of me, it's the movement of my torso that is moving my arms. My arms themselves are just still, but my torso is moving. And if I drop one hand and bring them both across, and then I switch the hands and I bring them both across, now we're doing watching clouds pass. Right? Nice and easy. And with this upper arm, you can even think of the elbow. Maybe the elbow has a little bit of movement that's helping to initiate. It's like we're still moving from the center, but it's like this upper elbow is pulling us across. And so not only with the rotation, but we also have then a little bit of weight shift, like moving from the center, but that upper elbow kind of pulling the weight to the side. So we have rotation and weight shift, which gives the movement that kind of, flowy, etheric kind of thing that we all like about these kinds of movements. And so brush knee and send chi is very similar to this movement. It's just, this is watching clouds pass, the elbow is up top. If we bring the hands back down, so now the lower hand is what's initiating the movement. So we're coming across, we can switch the hands and let the lower hand initiate that little bit of weight shift as the center axis, that the torso is rotating. So we're switching, rotating from the center. And again, just thinking about that lower hand. It's almost like it's pushing something out of the way, like sweeping that away. And that's what helps to bring us along. You know, if we're thinking about this lower hand, the upper hand is just kind of coming along for the ride almost. So the lower hand initiating the weight shift as the torso initiates the rotation. Getting over to one side, switch the hands, and then the lower hand brushes the knee. The upper hand is coming along for the ride, but as that lower hand brushes the knee, the upper hand, as it comes along for the ride, we can bend it at the elbow. And then switch, brushing the knee, upper arm comes across. And remember, round, circles with our limbs, making a circle out in front of us. So now let's come across, let's pick up our ball. So the lower hand is going to pick up the ball. And we'll go towards the windows first. So the lower hand is going to drop the ball, so the upper hand falls down. Let's go nice and slow. So we have momentum with the hand that just dropped the ball flowing out, and then the lower hand is going to come across to brush the knee. The upper hand bends at the elbow and we send chi. And then the lower hand picks up the ball to bring us to center. We can shift our weight towards the mirrors. That provides some momentum. The upper hand drops, the lower hand floats out to the side, and now we have the new lower hand that brushes the knee, turning us, sending chi. Rock back to pick up the ball. Weight shift towards the windows, drop the ball. Lower hand sweeps across, brush knee, send chi. So we'll just slow it way down. Pick up the ball. Move as slowly as you can. Drop the ball, like slow. Let the hand reach out. Palm down. Let the lower hand come across to brush the knee. The upper elbow is bending. And then we're sending chi. And the lower hand picks up the ball, which helps to bring us to center. And then as we weight shift and drop the ball, slow it down. Outer arm is palm down. Lower hand comes across, brush the knee. Upper elbow bends and we send chi. Lower hand picks up the ball. Weight shift. Drop the ball. Lower hand, brush the knee. Upper hand sends chi. Rock back to pick up the ball. Drop. Brush knee. Send chi. Picking up the ball. Weight shift. So with our weight shift, this allows us to take a step. So we can place the heel down, the lower hand brushes the knee, and now we're sending chi. So same thing. Rock back, lower hand picks up the ball, which allows us to step back to center. Weight shift, follow the momentum, step, lower hand now, brush knee. Upper hand is coming along for the ride, and we can then send chi. Rock back, pick up the ball to step back to center, weight shift. Lower hand, brush knee, upper hand, send chi. Rock back, picking up the ball, step to center, weight shift. Momentum for a step, brush knee, send chi. Rock back, weight shift. Follow the momentum. Lower hand, brush knee. Upper hand's already there to send chi. Picking up, weight shift. Lower hand, brush knee, send chi. Lower hand picks up the ball, weight shift. Lower hand drops the ball so the upper hand falls. Brush knee, send chi. Rock back, weight shift. Brush knee, send chi. Rock back, weight shift. Rock back, pick up the ball, weight shift, drop the ball. The lower hand drives the movement. It brushes the knee, bringing us to send the chi. Rock back. Drop the ball. That front lower hand brushes knee, driving the whole movement. Rock back. Drop the ball. That front lower hand kind of does the whole thing for us. Dropping the ball. Brush knee. Send chi. Rock back. Brush knee. Send chi. Rock back. Slow here, so we'll weight shift. Lower hand drops the ball. The upper hand falls to the waist. Now we can take our step, and the lower hand is going to brush the knee. That's what's bringing the upper hand across so that we can then send chi. Rock back, pick up the ball, weight shift, drop the ball, lower hand falls to the waist, and then brushes the knee, send the chi. Rock back, weight shift, send chi. Pick up the ball, drop the ball, brush knee, send chi. Pick up the ball, drop the ball, brush knee, send chi. Rock back and relax.
That was helpful.
Okay, good. Was that helpful?
I thought so.
Okay.
Really lower spine, all of them.
Yeah. Yes. Good. And yeah, so, I've found with this movement, sometimes we can get caught up with this arm and what's all happening with this arm. So we just take that arm out of the equation of our minds. And we have, we drop the ball. So this arm, we just get it here. And then we can come into this front arm and just brush the knee. And oh, right, there we are. No problem with the upper arm. It's there already. So drop the ball and then brush the knee. Send the chi. All right. Good. So that was the review of that movement. Now let's just practice the form and see how it goes.
Well, we have a question about another movement.
Yes.
Just before you stroke the tail,
Uh-huh.
I get confused with my hands.
Stroking the phoenix's tail. Yes, so that is a big movement. How about we'll go through the form, we'll get to that movement, and we'll kind of take it really slow with that one. Okay. All right, so if you'd like to bring your feet closer together towards the mirror side, we'll open towards the windows, and let's practice our form. And we'll go, that's the thing with Tai Chi, is we go slow. So let's go slow. Take our time with it. And it's not, sometimes we take pictures, get to a point and stop, and then go to the next one. Let's just go really slow. So it's a movie. It's still constantly moving, but just slowly. And see what that's like. And allow yourself, bend in the knees. Allow yourself room. Don't fully extend. So there's a little bit of a gap for stuff to happen, for magic to happen. So aligning, breathing. We'll take a breath in together. Exhale and sink. And then we'll inhale, open out towards the windows. Exhale here. Let's close towards the windows. And exhale. Inhale, open. Relax. Inhale, close. Exhaling. One more time, we'll open. Relax. And then from here, inhale, the arms float up. And we'll bring the mirror hand underneath. So just standing in place for this one. The lower hand is going to harmonize. So weight shift, rock back. Lower hand picks up the ball to the mirror side, and then rotate and weight shift. Rock back, pick up the ball. Harmonize, harmonizing heaven and earth, harmonizing yin and yang. What does that mean? The lower hand is yin, and now it becomes yang. Rocking back. The lower hand is close to the earth, and now it's drawing the earth up towards the heavens. Rocking back. Harmonizing yin and yang. Heaven and earth becoming each other. They are each other. Yin and yang. Transforming into each other. Rock back. Pick up the ball. Harmonize. Rock back. Pick up the ball. One more time. Harmonize. Rock back. Picking up the ball on the mirror side. Let's turn the ball over. So our mirror hand is underneath. Now what we were just doing. Drop the ball. That arm can flow out, palm down. Lower hand now. Brush knee. Send chi. Rock back to pick up the ball. Weight shift towards the windows. Drop the ball. Lower hand, brush knee, send chi. Rock back to pick up the ball, weight shift. Lower hand, brush knee, send chi. Picking up the ball, feeling the momentum, take us towards the windows to drop the ball. Lower hand, brush knee, send chi. One more time. Drop the ball. Lower hand, brush knee, send chi. Here, the lower hand will sweep up to cross. The mirror hand is closest to us, so it flows down and right out to the side, and then we'll send it forward. And the window hand flows out to the side, and we send it forward like a chop, like we're cutting through. So weight shift, cut through, follow the momentum of the arm. Cut through. One more time, the mirror hand is going to sweep around and we're crossing. So what you were asking about, starting stroking the phoenix's tail. So our mirror hand is out front. We're going to open with that hand, and since it's opening, it has the momentum. We're going towards the mirrors. And then the mirror hand continues around to become the top of the ball. The lower hand now is going to trace the bottom of this upper arm, up and across. And then we can stroke the phoenix's tail, coming down. The hands flow out. Take the back fingers to the inside of the front wrist. The front elbow can turn us towards the mirrors, and then we can push, rock back, the hands flow down, and press away. Turn to face center. So now the window hand is out in front, which means we open with the window hand, and it takes us towards the windows. And that window arm will continue around to become the top of the ball. The lower arm is going to trace underneath the upper arm, up and across, and then we'll stroke the phoenix's tail. The back hand will come to the inside of the front wrist. The front elbow will turn us towards the mirrors, and we press. Rock back. The hands come down so that we can push. And then turn to face center, which means the mirror hand is out front. I'll face the other direction. Mirror hand is in the front, so we open with the mirror hand. It's bringing us that direction. And this mirror arm has nowhere else to go but here. And then the lower arm will trace underneath, across and up, and stroke the phoenix's tail. The back hand comes to the inside of the front wrist. The front elbow comes across, and we push, rock back, and press away. Turn to face center, which means the window hand is in the front. So let's open with the window hand. It brings us to that side. And again, this window arm has nowhere else to go but around on top. And then the lower hand traces under the upper arm so that we can stroke the phoenix's tail. The back hand comes to the inside of the front wrist, and the front elbow turns, and we push. Rock back. And press. One more on each side. Facing the front. Mirror hand is in front. We open with that arm. That arm must come on top. The lower arm strokes across and up, stroking the phoenix's tail. Back hand inside the front wrist, front elbow turns, and we push, rock back, and press. One more time. Turn to face the front. Window arm is out in front. Open with the window arm. That window arm, what can it do? Really nothing but this. Lower arm, across and up. Stroke the phoenix's tail. Back hand to the front wrist, front elbow turns, and we push. Rock back and press. To transition, we make a big circle overhead, all the way around. The mirror hand becomes a bird. The lower hand is feeding the bird. With the lower hand, we open and then walk through. Rocking back, we make a new bird. Lower hand comes across to feed the bird. Opening the gate. Walking through the gate. Rock back, new bird. Lower hand feeds the bird, and we can open and walk through. Rock back to make a new bird. Lower hand feeds the bird. Open. Walk through. One more time. New bird. Feed the bird. Open the gate. Walk through the gate. Rock back. New bird. Lower hand comes across. Now, as this lower hand comes up, the upper hand drops, and we can watch clouds pass. Switching the hands, bringing both arms across. Taking our time, breathing, catching our breath, finding some rest here. You know, if you don't want to bring your upper hand up too high, if you want to keep it a little lower to give your shoulders a break after the work they've done, that's fine. Breathe. We can inhale and exhale. One more time, we'll switch, come across. That upper arm becomes the bird, and again we feed the bird. Lower arm comes to the knee, and the dragon dives, and then rises. Rock back to make a new bird. Weight shift, feed the bird. Lower hand to knee, dragon dives and rises. Rock back, make a bird. Weight shift, feed the bird. Open, dive and rise. Rock back, feed the bird. One more time. Open, lower hand to the knee. Dragon dives and rises. Rock back. Now the lower hand comes and picks up the ball. We're back to our ball. And let's place the sun and the moon. So pull this celestial orb across the body, and then the lower hand is going to push it up in the sky. Rock back so the lower hand can form a new celestial orb. And bring it across. Push it up. Rock back. Gather the ball. Bringing the hand across and pushing it up. Rock back. Find the ball. And so here, in this, we have the story of every movement of Tai Chi. What's yang becomes yin. What's yin becomes yang. So this upper hand is going to transition to the lower hand. And we push it up. Rocking back, form the ball. This upper hand is going to transition to become the lower hand so we can push up. And rock back one more time. Gathering the ball, placing the sun and the moon up in the sky, and then let's open like a rainbow. Hands can come around. Let's inhale to the chest. Exhale, open wide, send the hips back. Sink, and then inhale, gather the earth. And out. Inhale, gather the sky. Out. In. Out. In. Out. out. One more time, we'll inhale and exhale. Just relax into Wu Ji posture. I recently taught a Tai Chi class for yoga teachers, and someone asked, at the end of a Tai Chi form, do we get to have Shavasana? And I said, this is Shavasana. It's a different kind of rest, but it's rest. So see how much rest you can find. Can you find the same quality of rest that you get from a Shavasana pose? A corpse pose, just laying on the ground. But here, we're not laying on the ground, we're suspended in the sky. Extending forward and back, up and down, left and right, all directions simultaneously. If we're moving in every direction simultaneously, are we beyond gravity? Let's take a breath here. Exhale the hands down, and we'll close towards the windows. So inhale up. Exhale down. So that was standing in place. We can add our box step to the form now. Before we do, is everyone okay? Transcending gravity. All right. So align, breathe. As you exhale, sink, and we'll open towards the mirrors. Exhale, the hands float down. Inhale up. Window hand forms the ball, so we'll exhale. So we have our weight shift here as we're picking up the ball, so we can take a short step forward, and as we shift our weight into that front leg, the lower hand floats up. Harmonize. Rock back to step to center. The lower hand gives us the weight shift and the momentum to take a step. And as we shift our weight into that front leg, we can harmonize, rock back to step back, weight shift, harmonize, rock back, step back, picking up the ball, which picks up our leg so that we can step. We have our ball, and it's the shifting forward. That's what harmonizes. Rock back to step to center. Pick up the ball, pick up that leg, step, weight shift, harmonize. One more time. Weight shift, step, harmonize, rock back, pick up the ball, transition. Turn your ball over, mirror hand underneath. Drop the ball, which gives us the momentum to take a step. Lower hand, brush the knee, send chi. Rock back, step to center, picking up the ball, weight shift. To step, brush knee, send chi. See how slow you can go. Pick up the ball, stepping to center, weight shift. Drop the ball, step, brush knee, send chi. Rock back to pick up the ball, weight shift, drop the ball. Lower hand, brush knee, send chi. Rock back, pick up the ball, weight shift. Drop the ball, giving us momentum to step. Lower hand, brush knee, send chi. Here, lower hand is going to sweep up to cross. We still have this leg out in front, And so our mirror hand is closest to us, and that will give us the momentum to step to center, and then weight shift, cutting through. Weight shift, cut through. Weight shift, cut through. This time, window hand sweeps around in front. The window hand is in front, so it will open us towards the windows. And there's nowhere else for this window arm to go except on top. And the lower hand now traces the bottom of the arm up and across, and we can stroke the phoenix's tail. Back hand to the inside of the front wrist, turn with the elbow, push, rock back, and press. Turn to face forward. Mirror hand in front. We open with our mirror hand towards the mirrors. Nowhere for that mirror arm to go except on top. Tracing the bottom arm. Or tracing up and across and then down. Stroking the phoenix's tail. Back hand, front wrist. Front elbow. Push. Rock back. Press. One more time. Turn to face forward. Window hand is out front, opening with that arm. That same arm comes on top. Lower arm traces up and across, stroking the phoenix's tail. Back hand, front wrist, front elbow turns, press. Rock back, push, transition, big circle, all the way around. Mirror hand is a bird and we're feeding the bird. This is the momentum to take a step, open first, then walk through. Rock back, make a new bird, step to center. Feeding the bird gives us the step, and we open and walk through. Rocking back to center, feed the bird to step, open, walk through. Rocking back, feed the bird to step, open, walk through. One more time. New bird. Feed the bird to step, opening the gate, walking through. Rock back, mirror hand comes across. As it floats up, the upper hand floats down, and both arms come across. In and out. One more time, we'll switch. The upper hand becomes the bird. Lower hand feeds the bird, which gives us our step, and we open hand to knee. The dragon dives and rises. Rock back, new bird, step to center. Feed the bird into the next step, hand to knee, dive and rise. Rock back, feed the bird to step, hand to knee, dive and rise. Rock back. Feed the bird to step, hand to knee, dive and rise. Rock back. One more time. Feed the bird to step, hand to knee, dive and rise. Rock back to center. Pick up the ball to step. Upper hand comes underneath and we push, putting the sun in the sky. Rock back, step to center. Lower hand picks up the ball to step. Place the moon in the sky. Rock back, Pick up the ball to step. Lower hand rises. Rock back. Pick up the ball to step. Placing the sun, rocking back. One more time. Pick up the ball to step. Weight shift. Place the moon. Rock back, arms out. And then inhale. Arms out. Exhale. In. Out. In. Out. One more time. In. Out. In. Out. And now we'll inhale up. And as we exhale, we'll relax into our Tai Chi Shavasana. So soft knees. Maybe lift your toes. Spread your knees away from each other so you can sink comfortably. Elbows holding elevator doors apart, but soft. Lifting through the back of the skull, up and back. Breathing behind the heart. Breathing 360 degrees from the back of the rib cage, out the outside of the arms, all the way to the fingertips. Like you're getting this big circle of energy happening in all directions simultaneously. Up, down, left, right, in, out, back, forward. Wu Ji posture. Wu. Nothingness. Ji. Ultimate. Ultimate nothingness posture. Ultimate everythingness posture. And if you need to, you can soften your elbows down. You can relax your shoulders. The hands can come in front of the heart, in front of the belly. Find a way of making this sustainable. Maybe the hands come a little closer to the body. Maybe they move further away. Maybe you sink deeper into the legs. Maybe you straighten the legs a little. Like find what works, which is different for everyone and different for each person moment to moment. Maybe feeling a little bit of trembling in the muscles, generating heat, yang qi. And let's take a deep breath in together. Exhale, relax the arms. Let's close towards the mirrors this time. So inhale up. Exhale. Relax your arms by your sides. Just stand for a few moments. Just resting, integrating, benefiting. And let's rub our hands together as we relax our stance. Massaging the face up and down a couple times. Back and forth over the top of the head a couple times. Down the back of the neck and around. Thumbs pressing into the sternum as we drag the hands down the front of the body to the lower ribs and the belly and around the waist to the lower back. Drawing the hands out. Shake them out. We'll pat up one arm and down. Up the other arm and down. then around and down the back of the legs, up the front. One more time, around and down, up the front. Yeah, maybe shaking it out, being nice and easy. Let's do 3 sighs of relief, because 1 is never enough. So big breath in. It's like we can be content. We're done with the hard stuff. And we can do hard things. 1 more time. All right. Great. All right, so next week we won't be having class because it's Thanksgiving week, and so there's that, but we'll be back in 2 weeks. Yeah, any questions about anything before we finish up for today? Any of the movements or anything? Okay, great. Well, really great practice.
Thank you.
I mean, it's not easy doing this, like mentally keeping track of it, physically it's very challenging, so really wonderful, wonderful job with all of you and this practice and kind of getting it in, and we'll see what we do in 2 weeks. We may just kind of continue on with this because I just feel like, you know, I love seeing you all getting so much better at it, and so it'd be great to where you're just doing it on your own in a good way for the rest of your lives. All right, so thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. You know, finding the light and the warmth within community, friends, family, celebrating the abundance of so much that we all have all the time. So, thank you. Right. And thank you all on Zoom for sticking around. I hope you have a wonderful 2 weeks. We'll see you next time.